Well, while we are in between the Santa carving videos, there's a new thing I wanted to come on here and show because I know that sometime before I showed you all these little Santas that were made from Buckeye, showed you how I carved them and see how I got this one painted. But right now, we're going to show a little demonstration of how we cut him out. How we cut out the original blanks that these get carved from. And first of all, you will see that on this one, I have kind of drawn the lines to cut him out from, and drawn the lines here from which to cut out the other side of the blanks. But before that, I will show you all what I'm going to cut is along this line here, which is for these two little ones, like the ones I show you here. Of course, those ones are made out of cherry, but what I'd like to tell you about this is that this is African mahogany. I purchased this from the woodcraft store this week, and when I was looking for woods to carve some of my new items from, I was told the differences between this and the other kind of mahogany. The other kind they had there was genuine mahogany. I found out it's called genuine because it's from South America. But what I have to show here is that this is African mahogany. They say both carve well, but that African mahogany carves much easier. And decided, since I'm kind of doing the Santas in sets where I kind of like do, two of the big ones out of a certain type of wood and two of the little ones out of the same type of wood, I thought I'd go ahead and try this here. So I'm going to show you all how it's done. Now, now I do need to mention that on this block, due to the width we were given, it was impossible to do the pattern the exact way as it comes out of the book, so I kind of had to change the pattern around a little bit, do it on both sides, and kind of even out the sides a little bit to kind of equal them out. And what we usually do is kind of work on these one at a time, but, you know, given the piece of wood, I decided to go ahead and put the length of the blank on the other side, and kind of go ahead and see if we could maybe carve out both here. Try to cut them both out at once. And we'll do that by sewing along here first. Now, as you can see, I've been able to cut it out on this particular side, and I'm going to do the same on the other. Now, it wouldn't be typical to cut off this much before cutting out the boots, but it just so happened that since this happened to be patterned in a way that the sides came out flat, we were able to do it on this occasion. With the original pattern, it usually doesn't. So we're going to also go about this here, try to carve along these lines, and I have drawn another straight line in between the Santas, and we are going to saw along that line as well. Now, one thing I forgot to do here was to cut this little part off in the back of this other Santa, because it can be kind of a distraction when you're trying to do a video for the first time. So we're going to take care of that, and furthermore, I will find a use for this piece, maybe use it as the other pattern or something. Now, when it comes time to cut out the boots, there's a certain way you kind of need to do the pattern. You need to make sure you get the lines on this side and the lines on this side. And to try to make sure we get it the right way, we're going to take it one step at a time. The first step is to cut out that little triangle that is between the boots there. Well, it turns out that I probably did a little too much too soon here, and trying to get this out so fast for the video probably kind of did try to work a little too fast and kind of made little foul ups here, but this is something we'll kind of take care of this as it goes, and I can kind of keep taking care of these steps little by little. I probably ought to be doing these blanks one at a time from different woods instead of trying to do it all at once for a video for the first time. But we're going to get it right. You probably saw, however, what I had to do there was I had to put this one on top of this one and trace that little line out. But there's a couple more steps we're going to take one at a time here, because with these Santas, that's the only way you can take them, is one at a time. But first of all, I'd like to mention the fact that we are going to cut along this the lines that go up on the boots, but not on the lines that go across just yet. That is the further step. I am thinking that since we already got this one out, we're going to go ahead and try to draw the next step into this one as well. We're going to connect the lines here, make sure that the lines are about even. It turned out that this one didn't get cut out even to the other, but we will take care of that. It's not going to matter anyway once it gets more cut out. But I am sort of drawing these lines here, and will tell you all that we can kind of get the boots to come out the same way if we take care of it just like that. And I'd say our next step will be to saw right here along this line that makes the boot, and if I'm thinking correctly, saw across this line here to be the upper part of the boot. And here's a little line weave, and now I'm reminding myself I need to take care of this line too. And we're finally coming down to the point where we can sew in these. Well, I already did it on the last piece, but need to do it on this one too. Hopefully we got it to come out the way it needs to be. And there's one last thing, a couple more things we're going to do. I'm going to saw off this part right here. what we are finally going to do is, where you see the lines on the edges of the boots, we're going to cut those off now. Now, of course, we've got a little uneven saw lines here, but when I go carving it out, we will have an opportunity to take care of those when the time comes. We can manage that with the knife if we need to, when the time comes to do it. But I'm going to saw off the sides of the boots to the last piece. Thankfully, we had a better cut come out this time with this one, but I'd say that as for this video, I think we're going to bring it to a close now and perhaps just try to put what's on it, put these on the next one when I go to make that.